17-year-old Alex sat on the fire escape of his apartment building, staring at the city skyline in the distance. The glow of the skyscrapers felt like a different world, one he desperately wanted to be part of. Life in his cramped, noisy neighborhood was a constant struggle. His mom worked double shifts as a nurse, his dad had left years ago, and his little sister, Emma, looked up to him for everything. But Alex had a dream: to become a filmmaker and tell stories that could inspire people. He didn't just want a better life for himself, he wanted to create something that would make his family proud. The spark had ignited when his high school film class took a field trip to a local production studio. The sleek editing bays, the passionate filmmakers, and the buzz of creativity had left him in awe. For the first time, Alex felt like he had a purpose. He didn't just want to escape his circumstances, he wanted to turn his struggles into something meaningful. But dreams, he quickly learned, don't come easy. Alex's days became a blur of exhaustion and determination. He woke up at 5 a.m. to help his mom get Emma ready for school before heading to his part-time job at a grocery store. After school, he stayed late to use the film club's equipment, teaching himself editing software and shooting short films with his friends. Nights were spent hunched over his laptop, editing footage until his eyes burned. Money was tight. The camera he saved up for was secondhand and glitched constantly. His friends didn't understand why he was always so busy, and his teachers warned him that his grades were slipping. "You're spreading yourself too thin," his mom said one night, her voice heavy with worry. "You can't do everything, Alex." But Alex couldn't stop. Every time he felt like giving up, he thought about Emma and how she deserved a better life. He thought about the stories he wanted to tell, stories about resilience, hope, and the power of chasing your dreams, no matter how impossible they seemed. The breaking point came during his senior year. Alex had entered a local film festival, pouring his heart into a short film about a boy overcoming adversity. He stayed up for 3 nights straight to finish it, skipping meals and barely sleeping. When the festival results were announced, his film didn't even make the shortlist. The rejection hit him like a punch to the gut. He felt stupid for thinking he could ever make it. That night, he sat on the fire escape, staring at the city lights again. For the first time, they didn't seem inspiring. They seemed mocking, like they were laughing at his failure. "Why do you even try?" he muttered to himself, tears stinging his eyes. "You're never going to make it." But deep down, Alex knew he couldn't quit. He thought about all the hours he'd spent working toward his dream, all the sacrifices he'd made. He thought about Emma and how she believed in him, even when he didn't believe in himself. Alex picked himself up and kept going. He applied for scholarships to film school, even though the odds were stacked against him. He entered more festivals, knowing rejection was inevitable but refusing to let it define him. He worked harder than ever, balancing school, work, and his passion, even when it felt like the weight of the world was on his shoulders. There were days when life sucked. Days when he felt like he was running in place, getting nowhere. Days when he wondered if it was all worth it. But Alex reminded himself why he started, not just for himself, but for his family, for the stories he wanted to tell, for the life he knew was possible if he kept pushing forward. Years later, Alex stood on a stage, holding an award for his debut feature film. The audience erupted in applause, but all he could think about was the journey that had brought him here. The sleepless nights, the rejections, the moments of doubt, they had all been worth it. He looked out into the crowd and saw his mom and Emma, tears streaming down their faces. In that moment, Alex knew he had done it. He had created a better life, not just for himself, but for the people he loved. As he stepped off the stage, Alex thought about the fire escape where it all began. He thought about the city lights that had once seemed so far away. And he smiled, because he knew the climb had been worth it. Life had sucked. It had been hard, messy, and unfair. But Alex had kept going, and in the end, he had reached his goal. Because that's the thing about chasing your dreams. It's never easy, but it's always worth it.